everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Marie. I'm a graphic designer, and on this channel I use Adobe Illustrator to create illustrations, 3D simulations, and branding. In today's tutorial, we are going to create a beverage container using 3D effect. Let's start by selecting the rectangle tool and designing a rectangle, which we're going to use as a base to design the shape that we're going to use for our 3D effect. Now I'm going to select the pen tool, the add anchor point pen tool, and I'm going to add an anchor point here, another one here, and a third one here. Then I'm going to select the middle one, and I'm going to drag it inwards. And I'm going to select all of the anchor points except for the bottom one on this side, and round the angles. The bottom one I'm going to round separately. Now using the rectangle tool, I'm going to draw what will be the top part of the container here. I'm going to align it with this anchor point here and that one there. I'm going to make this taller. I'm going to make a dragged copy, which is going to be a little bit wider, and then I'm going to make a wider bit shorter. Okay, this is kind of like the top part where the lid screws on. And I'm going to make a dragged copy of this other rectangle, which is going to be the lid, and I'm just going to round this one corner here. Okay, so now I'm going to select everything but the lid, go to the Pathfinder Unite. So now it's all one shape. I'm going to make a few adjustments here on these corners, make them, I'm going to round them a little bit. Now I'm going to create a rectangle, which is going to cover this part of the bottle here, the container that I don't need. I'm going to first make a copy of that rectangle. I'm going to select two shapes, go to Pathfinder minus, paste to front, and again with the lid, selecting the same rectangle in the lid, Pathfinder minus front. So now let's say that we have half a container. We have half a container and half a lid, and that's all we need. We're going to change the stroke to none. I'm going to leave the fill white. While it's selected, go to Effect, 3D Revolve, right edge. I'm going to put front, put a little bit of perspective as usual. And okay, now this bottle is very plump, so I'm going to reduce the width and I'm going to make it taller. So now that we've applied the 3D effect, if you don't like the shape of the container, use the direct selection tool to move the anchor points by moving them or adjusting the curve until you get the shape that you like. To change the fill color, select the item, go to the appearance panel, click on this fill color, and you can change it. To make modifications to the 3D effect, always through the appearance panel, double click on the 3D revolve and it'll open the 3D effect panel. If you click on more options here, you can adjust the light. You can add a light and fix the parameters by changing them over here when the light is selected. You can also move the light around. See, now I have applied two lights. You can change the type of shading. And you can delete the light, obviously, if you just want one. And you can position it wherever you want, as I was saying. And you can change the parameters until you're happy with the results. When you're okay with it, just click on the OK. Okay, now I'm going to select the lid here, and I'm going to make that top left corner a little bit less rounded, always using the direct selection tool. Now it's time to create some graphics to apply to our container. So I created a rectangle. I changed the fill to this purple, and then using the pen tool, I created a white line, a line with a white stroke. I changed the width and the stroke style. Change the color, and then I made two dragged copies. In the middle one, and this is just going to be to this, just going to be yellow, made it thicker. Now while they're selected, then I'm going to create another two rectangles for them a little bit. Okay, now I'm going to speed this up because I'm going to select everything, make a dragged copy. So I made a dragged copy rectangle, as you can see, is a little bit rectangle with the line. And just on the bottom one, I'm going to add this taller. I'm going to add using the text tool. I wrote plus. I'm going to change the. Then I'm going to change the gradient fill to a gradient. The gradient, the stroke. Using the gradient panel here. Shadow. I added a black stroke. Change the color. And I'm going to add this black shadow. Okay, then I'm going to select just the text. I'm going to go back to the gradient of the text. I'm going to change it to this orange. Okay, now I'm going to select just the text, make a dragged copy. Now I'm going to create one more rectangle, which is going to be plain. And these other two I'm going to mask. So select the back rectangle, Control C to copy, Control F paste to front, select everything, create mask. Then by selecting one at a time, we're going to go to the symbol panel here, create new, add a name, change it to graphic, okay, with all three of these. So we're going to create 3 symbols. Actually, at the moment, I'm just going to create the first 2 with the graphics. Now go to the appearance panel, open the 3D panel here, and click on map art. Here, with this arrow, you can go through all the different pieces of our container where we can apply graphics to our symbols. So on this bottom part here, which is the number 3 of 16, I'm going to add the symbol with the writing on it. Then I'm going to adjust it so that it fits. Here I'm going to leave this empty for now. And then on this top part, I'm going to add that first, no, not this one, remove. I'm going to add, the second one. I'm going to click on Shade Artwork so it adds the shading from the container down below. And I'm going to click OK. While this is selected, I'm going to change the fill color to, no, not blue, not red. Just test these out. No. Okay, I'll change it to this purple here. So using the eyedropper, I selected the same shading of purple and I changed the fill to that color. I just made a 4th rectangle by dragging that 3rd one, and I changed the fill to white. Now with just a plain white rectangle, I'm going to create a new symbol and call it 3. Then while the container is selected, I'm going to go to the appearance, double click on the 3D revolve panel, go to map art preview, and some of these surfaces I'm going to change to white by applying this white rectangle. I could have just left it like it was just to show you how to even make modifications once you've already applied. To delete just one surface, you click clear. To delete all of them, you click on clear all. And you can only add one symbol for each surface that I know of. If you know differently, please let me know. So I'm just gonna keep moving around here and adding the white to certain parts of this container. Also, I'm going to speed this up a little bit because you get the concept. I clicked on Shade Artwork to get the shading, as I said before. Now I'm going to click the lid here and change the fill color. Probably probably to this yellow. Yeah, I guess that can work. I'm going to make one last modification on the container here. And okay, that looks good. I'm going to move our symbols, which we can delete now because they're in the symbol panel anyways. But I'm just going to leave them for now. I'm going to move them off the artboard. Just a few more modifications here. Okay. This wasn't necessary, but, you know, just to make it more various. I'm going to change the lid color to a red, actually. Okay. Oh, also, if you go here to the symbols, if you haven't deleted them, and make a modification, like, for example, I'm going to change the gradient of the text here so it matches the lid better. Since I changed it to red, it will update the symbols that we've already created. As I said, you can adjust the lighting here by going to the 3D panel, clicking on more options. So now I'm going to use the ellipse tool to create a black ellipse, which I'm going to select arrange send to back, add this blur to it, change the blending mode to multiply, and lower the opacity a little bit. If you want, you can even add a gradient to it, where you lower the opacity towards the outside and leave the inside darker by leaving a higher opacity. Now I'm going to select everything, make a dragged copy, reduce the size just slightly, put it so it looks like it's behind, and then I'm going to make a dragged copy of a third bottle. That way, to conclude our video today, we're going to create this composition with 3 bottles. Now I'm going to create this rectangle, arrange send to back. I'm going to change the color. It's going to be the background. I think I'll go with this light blue. These are the shadows here already set to multiply, the blending mode multiply. And then I'm going to add this other rectangle here, which also has this gradient with the outside with less opacity and the inside darker. And that is it. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any suggestions for my future videos, please let me know. I'm going to just adjust the lighting here just so it looks like it's coming from one direction. And that's it.